Happy Juneteenth, everyone. I might not talk with y'all tomorrow, but today I want to let you know what a great day, what a
Yes,
great week
yes,
this is.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. We did that in the city of Ypsilanti back in March. We declared it to be a holiday in perpetuity here
Oh
in the
my
city.
goodness.
Yes.
Hey, you're a trailblazer in many ways. We're thankful for you.
Hey, thank you.
So it's fitting that we have this conversation today because Love is the Answer Day is coming up September 17th. And this is really right in line with Juneteenth discussions and so many other things that have been happening. And mark your calendars, 9/17/21. That's going to be the big day. It used to be the National Day of Reconciliation, but this is turning it into Love is the Answer Day. First of all, it's going to erase any confusion about, Reconciliation Day in South Africa and any other Reconciliation Day events that are taking place around the world. There is no other Love is the Answer Day. I've done my due diligence. I checked, and this is it, baby. And by taking the word national out of it, it opens up that door for us to go global, and that's been the vision from day one. And now with growing support coming in, with the great work that has been done, some of which we'll talk about today, I believe this is the time right now. The world needs love more than anything. You know, y'all know that. I'm preaching to the choir, but
Yes, yes.
that's why we're here, right? That's why we're doing all this work. So just little history. The film Walking While Black, Love is the Answer, poster behind me, y'all seen it a million times, came out in February 2017. And since then, we've literally had hundreds of events, screenings, workshops, webinars. We had a conference. We had a Love is the Answer conference in North Syracuse, New York, a few years ago. Cliff was there. He was one of the speakers, knocked it out of the park, got to sit in on some of his session. And we've had other educational events constantly. Now it's like daily, some weeks, and it's moving. It's flowing. So I'm really happy about that. Grateful uh, for all the support. This is a photo of one of the schools that we visited in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Spent a day with students there. This is an event in Pasadena, the Pasadena Police Department, and some young people and other people from the community. This is from the very first event on a national scale, that first National Day of Reconciliation. There's some photos there from Howard County, Maryland, where it all began. It was great to come back at that time to home and bring this experience, this Aloha experience, back to where it all started. Just a mile away from that encounter with police, where I thought I was going to die that day. But not only did it happen there, but it also happened in 11 other cities. We did a simulcast. Basically, the film was shown at the same time in a dozen cities with a dozen audiences, and then we all came together on a Zoom after the film. It was amazing. We had a really great learning session after that as well. Here's some of the groups that we've worked with throughout the years, and this isn't all of them, just some of them that we've worked with. We've worked with hundreds of organizations around the country now, and that's growing exponentially. One group that's not on here is Marsh McLennan Insurance Company. We have been cultivating a relationship with them, and they are becoming our first six-figure contributor. So we're happy about that. It's going to help put more wind in our sails, and keep it growing. I'm going to go ahead and admit someone. And Trey and Shannon, if y'all see people trying to get in, just keep on pressing that button. Let's see here. Won't be able to welcome everyone else individually, but welcome to anyone else who has joined us. I will share these slides with anyone who wants them to help you with anything that you might have missed. We're here to talk about the third annual Love is the Answer Day coming up September 17th. So again, some of the groups that we've worked with, let's see here. I'm happy to announce that in May, the world's first love garden broke ground, and this is one of the photos. If you just Google Yaden, PA, garden, Yaden police, you'll see a bunch of press on this. It was on Fox News. It might have been on some other television stations. I know that it's been covered by newspapers and online reporting. Chachi is the police chief there. That's his nickname. Anthony Paparo is his name. Chachi and I had a discussion about, I think it was a year ago, maybe longer. And I told him about the desire to do love gardens, and he was like all over it. It was actually more than a year ago because it was pre-pandemic. And he was going to try to kick it off last year, and the pandemic held it up. But a man true to his word, he came through. I didn't think he'd be the first because I thought there would be another one before him, but the pandemic hit and bam, Chachi became the first in the world to create a love garden. And this is going to be a space where people can come together and learn about each other. And while they're planting seeds for fruits and vegetables, they're planting seeds for closer relationships. It's going to be amazing as we see dozens and hundreds and thousands more created all over the world. That's the vision, global, to have them throughout the United States, to have them on every continent. And that's part of what's going to be happening on Love is the Answer Day as well. Next slide. Why is Love is the Answer Day needed? Why do we need it? Why do we need another day, right? We just had another federal holiday announced. So why do we need yet another day, right? Well, here's why. And this is not just an American problem. This is a global issue. You know, for every George Floyd, there's 1,000 people we'll never hear about. Think about that.
That is so true.
Yeah. So, and it's not just police community relations that are bad. It's everybody. You know, people gave it a name, you know, it's many names. Actually, one of them is cancel culture, right? But there's many names that we can attribute to what's going on around the world about people not coming together, about people resorting to violence because they can't come to agreement. You know, I served at a nuclear missile base in Europe, you know, during the Cold War. And we knew that if we were engaged, that it was over, maybe for the planet, because we had enough firepower at just our base to wipe out entire countries. And part of the reason why I carry, you know, PTSD and anxiety around with me, and I wish I, you know, I'm doing a lot of things wellness oriented to keep, you know, on a level pace. And this is one of those things, teaching people how to love each other. But I learned the truth about what can happen when things go wrong while I was in the military, and specifically while I was stationed at that base, because I saw some horrific things happening just in the way that protesters, you know, peace protesters were treated. Broke my heart to see limbs being shattered at the gate of our base, witnessing these things, right? People protesting, wanting peace, and having their legs broken, right? We knew that if we didn't keep the peace, then could have been over. And so that's always stuck with me and always kind of informed my work. You know, I'm not going to go on and on about it, but we need this. The world needs love more than ever.
Amen.
So, yeah, thank you, Lois. Thank you. That's amen is right. So what's our foundation? You know, what are we teaching, right? What are What are the love is the answer principles that are in our film, that are in the book, that are in the work that we're doing, right? And just real quickly, 4 key principles. Learn about the people in your community. Open your heart to the needs of the people in your community. Volunteer yourself to be part of the solution in someone's life. Don't keep it to yourself. Empower others to do the same. Each one teach one, right? My brother's keeper, right? So the pledge is one of the things that we teach. And this is what I ask everyone to, print it out, cut it out, put it on your wall, put it in your wallet, your purse, put it in your car. Think about these things every interaction that you have, right? Especially the ones that aren't going that well, especially with the people that are upset for no reason, that are flipping you off at the stoplight, right? I saw when I lived in LA, I saw someone cut somebody off, and then I saw the person beep their horn and drive up, flip them off, right? And then they started chasing each other, and next thing you know, they both crashed. We got to learn how to resolve conflict without crashing. And this pledge right here can really help you through those rough times, right? It'll help you to live out these principles, these love is the answer principles. Let me move on here. Sorry, sometimes this thing sticks in. I know it's me because I'm not technologically astute sometimes. Some of the things that we teach are based on certain things that are happening around the world that are ancient reconciliation principles. And this is one of them. And I'm going to give Cliff a couple of minutes to talk about this one, kintsugi or kintsukuroi. Cliff talks about this in the film, and y'all have seen him talk about that. So Cliff, can I pass you the microphone and let you talk a little bit about the work that you're doing and about kintsugi, and then we'll bring it back just a couple of minutes, and we'll bring it back and move on.
Sure. I'll just kind of lay out my understanding of the concept. It's ancient Japanese notion, and comes out of a philosophy called wabi-sabi, basically. But really, essentially, if I would boil it down, what it is it's philosophy about the way that it is, the way that the world is, the way that it functions. And someone else might explain it another way, but that's my limited understanding of it. And a piece of that, it goes to this concept that AJ is talking about. It's called kintsukuroi, or kintsugi is the shorthand for it. And basically, it's a notion that in life, everything breaks. Everything is everything comes to the point at which its usefulness, or its form, its construction, its purpose, all of that can, shatter, and could be in a moment, could be over time. And when it does, essentially, what matters most is not that whatever it is broken, but how you view it, how you see it, how you hold it. So, for example, like AJ has a picture of the bowl up. So, that's one of the manifestations of it, is they don't just speak about this philosophy, but they live it and use it as an expression in art and literature and in their relationships as well. And a broken bowl, for example, any one of those bowls there could be, how we would hold it in our society, we'd have the pieces in our hand. And then mostly in our society, we say the bowl is broke and we would discard it. Well, they hold it in a very different way in wabi-sabi and kintsukuroi. They look at it as a possibility to recreate the bowl newly in this moment, to take the broken pieces and find a way to put them back together, and if possible, make them even more beautiful than they were before. And so what happens in this, it actually becomes a craft, an artistic expression, and that's how they view life, that life can be, when it's broken, as it will inevitably become an opportunity for artistry, for genius to occur, for meditation, thoughtfulness, and intention to occur. you know? And so what happens is you have these broken bowls, instead of them being pieces lying on the floor to be discarded, they're a possibility for invention, for creation, and again, for artistry. And what they do, the way they do it is two or three components to it. One is, like I've just spoken to, is the intention, the way you view it, the perspective. You know, I've come to understand it in a different way, from a different philosophy. But when things happen, you can see them like they're a problem, or you can see them like they're a possibility. And Wabi Sabi, Kintsukuroi, they see that as a possibility. And that's so for everything in life, you know? And so what they do now, looking at it as a possibility, they find, okay, what can we do with this? And they look at a way that they can put the pieces back together. But they find two things need to happen. Three, really. One is you need to have that intention. You have to bring the kind of focus and intention to it that an artist does, to a creation, to a masterpiece, you know, to a beautiful song to be written, a poem, a book, a story, whatever it is, you know. Then the other piece of it is you need to bring other elements to it. And what they do in Kintsukuroi is they make this lacquer, this kind of like glue, for lack of a better word. And they infuse the glue with gold, 24 karat golden flakes, you know, and they mix this up, and it becomes this paste. And then they gently and intentionally take the pieces and file them and break, you know, sometimes break them newly, and, you know, just reshape them so that they can now fit them together again using this lacquer, you know. And what comes out of it is the images that are on the screen, something even more beautiful than the bowl was before it broke. And so useful that it could be done, it could go back to being used the way that it was used previously, but many times what it becomes instead is a work of art, something to be shown to the world and appreciated newly, you know? And that's essentially the philosophy. But like I said, it's not about the bowls, it's about life. And when, for example, what AJ's proposing with Love is the Answer, you know, we have, for example, the way policing is in our society, many other issues with our society. In fact, as I see America today, so everybody's freaked out about, you know, all the crises that have happened, the danger to the threats to our democracy, you know, on and on and on, the pandemic. For me, I hold that all as a possibility, not just a problem. And in my work, I was a counselor and community organizer. So knowing this gave me great power in my dealings with other people. So I could actually bring people together within the space of creation rather than for grievance or conflict or consternation. And then present them with the possibility of having the challenges that we face, for example, like America today, not just be, a crisis, but also be this opportunity, this rich, vital, incredible opportunity to recreate America as something even more beautiful than it was before this day. And that's actually where we're at. So in my own personal, just to make it personal here, I hope this is relatable, is that when I see all of what's happening in our country right now, what I see is the possibility of reinvention. You know, it goes back to that phrase, you know, about the building a more perfect union. You know, really, that's the process we're in. But a lot of us don't hold it or see it that way, because in our society, we're really problem-centric, we're not really possibility-centric. And we really are not facile with the art of Kintsukuroi. When the pieces are broken, you know, many times our impulse is to throw them away, rather than look at how we might put them back together now in a really, and make them even more beautiful. And what AJ's proposed in his initiative, what I know of him and being a part of, you know, of his journey that he shared with me, is what he's proposing is the creation, the blending of this lacquer in a process that will allow us to use what has happened to him in his life, to me in my life, to many of us, you know, when we've encountered the brokenness, we've encountered the consternation, the conflict, the violence even, you know, the injustices, and not just, you know, discard the possibilities, but actually call them forth. So that love, when I hear love is the answer, and then you see it L.O. like that, that's the process of creating the lacquer that eventually we can meld this society back together and again have it be something even more beautiful than it was before.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, man.
Yes.
That's powerful,
That's
brother.
that.
We gotta soon. We're gonna have to have a session with just you, just teaching. Right? I know that would go over really well, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, that was the
Kintsugi.
shorthand of it. It's a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful concept.
Yes,
That
it
leads
is.
us.
Can I ask, is that in the 90-minute version?
Yes.
Okay. I've
Yep.
seen it, but
Yeah.
I don't recall it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
Go
I'm
back and see, that's a beautiful part of the film. It really just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film, and it it really has a strong hold on me because it just resonated. When Cliff first told me about this, it resonated, and we want to even include actually doing this in some of our workshops when we start to get together in person again. So that's one foundational element of our work. There's another foundational element. I'm going to share three foundational elements with you. This one is also, Cliff and I have many close ties to this, as he's lived in Hawaii, and I've had great experiences throughout my life in Hawaii. This is an ancient Hawaiian reconciliation uh, uh, program that really boils down to four simple steps, just like love, you know, and ho'oponopono. I talk about this in our workshops and webinars. Um, these four things can help someone heal. It can help someone to face and heal from trauma and other life experiences, and it can also help individuals to come together just by simply, I tell police all the time, just if you mess up, just say you're sorry.
yeah,
Just ask someone to forgive you, and thank them for being there, and tell them that you love them. That's something that set Mel Russell apart from me, is that he, without even knowing it, he was living this out. you know um yeah, so that's another foundational principle. We'll have plenty of opportunities to go in more in depth with that, but I want to make sure we get to the planning part of this. But we're setting an important foundation. Here's another foundational element. Trey just got a smile on his face. MLK Jr. MLK Jr. So this quote really, kind of is completely in line with our work, and our work has been largely informed by Martin Luther King Jr. and these other things that we talked about, Ho'oponopono and Kintsukuroi. But darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Love is the only thing that can drive out that hate that is flowing throughout so much of the world. Again, welcome to anyone who is just joining us. This is being recorded too, by the way. I think y'all got a notice, I hope, that the session is being recorded when you came in. I'm doing that so that people who couldn't make it, they can, come back and see this and get the knowledge. If you don't want to be recorded, just turn your video off. That'd be cool. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to run through real quick. How can peace officers use Love is the Answer principles to improve police community relations? These are some of the questions that we ask in our webinars and workshops. How can community members use the principles to improve police community relations, including building into the lives of peace officers? Because they're, newsflash, they're human too, right? They were human before they became, being a cop is just a job, right? So we got to see each other as humanity. We got to love them, right? As much as we want them to love us, we got to love them. In what ways can your organization put love into action? And then finally, in what ways are you personally ready to put love into action? So those are some of the questions I want you to think about as we move forward. A lot of the principles that we talk about, a lot of stuff that we do, this is the workbook, right here. This is the book. We're creating a workbook to go with it, but this is the book that everybody needs to have to learn these principles in a deep, deep way. And then, this is the last slide, and then I'm gonna come back. Let's put love into action, right? 3 things will last forever. Cars will rust out. Money will go away. Houses will fall down. Some, countries will disappear. Empires will crumble. But faith, hope, and love will be here at our disposal forever. And the most powerful thing in the universe is love. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to make those slides available to everybody and the recording. Actually, you're going to get the link to the recording, so you'll have the slides that way. Welcome to Pat Jones, Jeffrey Brown, Dina Johnson. We got Intentional Talk Radio Network in the house. It looks like they're having a little trouble connecting. Maybe they can hear us. Okay, so here's what we're here for. Love is the Answer Day. September 17th, 2021. It'll be our 3rd annual. Although remember, first 2 years, it was called National Day of Reconciliation, a Love is the Answer program. So now we're switching. We're going global with this. It's becoming Love is the Answer Day. And what's going to happen on that day? And I'm going to ask Trey to join me in this part of the conversation, because the youth, the young people of the world are going to play a big role in this. And we need to play a big role in them, to help teach them, instruct them, love them, empower them. And there's a note in the chat, zooming in from Abington, PA, Jeffrey Brown. All right. Thank you. Stuffing your face with a hoagie on your lunch break. That's awesome. Send me one.
Send me one too. I was born in Abington. That's awesome.
Oh man, really? Seriously?
Seriously, Abington Hospital.
Dude, I didn't know that. Oh, I ain't nothing better than a Philly cheesesteak.
That's where all my kids were born at, in Abington.
Ain't nothing better than a Philly cheesesteak.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Yeah. So look, here's what's going to happen on September 17th. People all over the United States, in all 50 states, and people on every continent. And I'm going to need your help with this, because we don't have contacts on every continent. I don't. I have contacts on several continents, but not all of them. So I'm going to need your help. That's one of the reasons why we're here today. This first planning meeting, we're going to have to find some people in every state in the United States and on every continent to participate in this day. On that day, we're going to have a Love is the Answer mural painted. You remember that logo that you saw, the Love is the Answer logo? That'll be the centerpiece of a mural. And then all around it will be expressions of love and things that are happening in that community and ways that people are involved in putting love out. I want each community to tell their own story about what love means in that community. But that Love is the Answer logo with the principle, with the pledge, will be right beneath it. That's going to be the center point, the focal point of every single one of them. And we're going to have, was there 7 continents? Is that right? 7 continents?
Yep.
All right. I learned some things in school. Yeah, baby. And 50 states. So the 50 states are obviously in one continent. So we're going to have at least 56 murals painted on that day, at the same time, same day, all over the world. Okay.
Don't forget the Caribbean islands.
Puerto
well,
Rico,
let's get them.
and the
Get them.
and
Get
the
'em.
Micronesian islands.
No, I can have contacts in several, or 1 or 2 that
Sweet.
can reach out to the others. So
Sweet.
don't
Yeah,
forget-
let's make that happen. Let's make that happen.
The
So
U.S.
mural,
territories.
where?
The U.S. territories. You have to add them. When you add Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, all of the territories. There's a bunch of people there. Guam, Palau, Yap, American Samoa.
Yeah.
That whole basin, Pacific Basin, and in both in Atlantic the same way. You know, the Caribbean nations and that kind of stuff.
So let's make that happen. Let's make it happen everywhere in the world, right? Let's make it happen. Let's get that representation. Let's start to reach out to people in those areas that we know, and if they got too much on their plate, that's cool, right? But they might know someone else, right, who can come on board and commit some time. And here's the beautiful thing about it: we're not asking one person to do all the work. The goal for this is to get teams of people, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, peace officers and everyone else from the community, from all walks of life, from every age group, coming together to make these beautiful pieces of art. So that'll happen. And while that's happening, there will be music and spoken word. Get ready, Trey. I'm going to bring you in, brother. And yoga and good food to eat. Some of these murals we painted on walls in some of our love gardens. Remember that photo that you saw from the first love garden? I'm hoping that by September 17th, there may be more. And some of these murals we painted on walls inside these gardens, right? Some folks will come into this space on that day from a harvest party in a love garden. And what if we could harvest 10,000 pounds of food that day to go to people who are food insecure, people that are hungry, starving, right? Can't afford to go and buy organic fruits and vegetables at the grocery store because for some reason, even though they have fewer ingredients, stores are charging more for them. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So let's find hungry people and feed them on that day, brothers and sisters, right? Trey, man, look. Trey, brother. All right, so what's it going to look like in some of these spaces, in front of these murals on that day with people? What are some of the young people going to be doing on that day?
Well, to really echo on what Cliff talks about when it comes to creation and reimagining, let's say, a new world or a new creation or a new way of being and living, building upon, the pieces that the pieces that we have to work with right now and making a better world from it. This is where so many young people are right now in their head and heart spaces. They're ready to re-envision a new way in which community members and police officers interact with each other. They're ready. And, the arts is a powerful and continues to be a powerful tool for reimagining our world and making our vision clear. So during these events, when we have people in different communities all gathered around, creating their Love is the Answer murals in community with each other, of course, eating and connecting with each other while doing so, and that being live streamed for folks to see. Also, we're going to have young folks from these communities performing their artistic pieces and performing their vision. So performing their spoken word pieces, performing songs that they have written, different bands and organizations that do work in the field of artivism and music and peace building and using the arts to make change, performing songs. One of the organizations that I work with, in addition to Love is the Answer, is Music in Common. And we're an organization that seeks to heal divisions between different religious, ethnic, racial, and cultural communities through music and dialogue. So we will be performing in that event, making our songs that have been written by Israeli and Palestinian youth together, American-born and refugee youth together, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim youth together. These songs written by young people of different backgrounds, making calls for love, for healing, for unity, and performing those in our community. Those are some of the things that you will be seeing. Individual young folks, as well as collectives, making their calls for change, their calls for healing through the artistic mediums that they resonate with, spoken word, music, poetry, rapping, making that heard to the world.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, brother. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah,
So, Trey mentioned that these performances are going to take place, and some of them will be on the Zoom. So we have every year we've had a Zoom. All right. So last year was incredible. We had 4 hours worth of incredible conversations taking place, and it was supposed to be 3 hours. It ran long, but it was beautiful. This year we're gonna cap off Love is the Answer Day with a Zoom. But here's what's going to be different. Last year, it was talking heads. It looked like this, right? And y'all are all beautiful and handsome and pretty and wonderful and incredible. But this September 17th, we're going to be doing this from the spaces where we've created this art, these incredible murals and these gardens. And some people will be indoors, certainly. And there will be some places where there will be rain and other bad weather as well, right? So here's what we want to do. We want to have an outdoor project and a backup indoor project. So in every place that we want to do this, we want to have a main outdoor area and a backup indoor area, okay? So what's going to happen is that from 2 to 6 p.m. Pacific, 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do this Zoom. And during that Zoom, people are going to come and share what they have done that day. They're going to show off their mural. There'll be people talking with the mural behind them, with people still working on it, right? There will be artists sharing stories and songs and other things. And it's going to be phenomenal. 4 hours of life-affirming gathering from all over the world. Some people might be, tuning in the middle of the night. It's going to be dark in some place. It's going to be 2 a.m. somewhere. But I guarantee you we're going to get somebody to tune in from somewhere in the world, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, showing off what they've done, right? And so the goal will be to get all of the places that have had murals done and gardens and all those things, to give each of them a little bit of time to show off and show out, show up, and inspire people, right? We're going to put love into action. We're going to learn about what it means, what love means in Boise, Idaho, and Tokyo, Japan, Munich, Germany, in Jamaica. We're going to learn about that. We're going to open our hearts to people that are going to share, maybe in some cases heartbreaking stories, but also they're going to be sharing hope and love, right? We're going to volunteer ourselves to be part of the solution that day, because we're going to find out that day that there's going to be some people that need some help in some part of the world, and we're going to be able to give it to them, right? We're going to be able to be there for our brothers and sisters in wherever they might be, right? And so from 2 to 6 p.m. Pacific, 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern, that's what we're going to be doing to cap it off. Here's something else that's special. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, only 1 minute talking about this, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. But on that day, we're going to capture those images, those photos and videos from all over the world. We're going to ask each group to make sure that they get them into us. And we're going to have a team of editors working from September 17th until February 13th of 2022 on creating a video. I've already written the words to the Love is the Answer theme song. The theme song is called Try Love Now. It's not called Love is the Answer because there's just too many Love is the Answer songs out there, and they're all good. I didn't want to add one more to the pile. All right. So Love is the Answer will be in the song, but Try Love Now, it'll be the name of the song. And it'll be a call to action. You've tried everything else. Try love now. And so we're going to capture those images, and those images from Love is the Answer Day 2021 from around the world will make up that music video that will inspire millions and millions of people around the globe. to do better, to put love into action. Y'all excited about this? I am.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Sounds good.
so I'm going to open it up. Let's have some Q&A for the next 8 to 10 minutes. What did I not cover? What questions do you have? We're going to do
Well,
many more of these, by the way.
I came in a little late. Can you tell me where are they actually doing these murals?
Yeah, great question. So now starts the process of finding out where we're going to do the murals. And the folks who are watching this now and the dozens of folks who will watch this at another time, watch the recording, we're going to select sites over the summer. So from now until September, we're going to be selecting sites. So if you know of a place that could be a potential site for a mural or for a love garden, then let us know, and we'll work hard to make those things happen.
Okay. Do you happen to know Commissar Brown in Annapolis?
No, I don't.
Okay, because they were part of the project for what's that young lady's name who the cops broke into her house and shot her? Breonna Taylor?
Breonna Taylor?
Yeah, I think that's her. Yeah, they were part of that project who did that mural,
Okay.
Commissar Brown. So definitely he might be someone who you want to talk to.
Is that someone you can reach out to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna
Awesome.
forward your email and your information to him and see if he can, reach out with you. And also a young man by the name of Deontay Ward. He was very instrumental in finding the location and everything and getting that mural done. Yeah.
That is great. Now, see, people like that who have already, artists who have already been involved in murals,
Mhm.
that's the first group of people we want to reach out to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
will do.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chat, I kept seeing, I saw a couple of chats. RIT, RIT, what is that?
It is Rochester Rochester Institute of Technology. It's a college, and they have photography, art. It's so much things they did. I graduated there from biomedical science pre-med, but it's in Rochester, New York. But it's an inspiring school for things of this type of project.
Wow. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that
Hey,
is.
muted. Thank you. I see it behind you now. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Nice. Hey, by the way, Dina, we're also looking for, we're thinking outside the box here. So if there are STEM groups or STEAM groups, that want to be involved in this somehow, we want them involved. We want
I got
STEM.
you covered because I know
Yeah, baby.
I was so here thinking, sorry for the noise in the background, but I was here thinking, I was like, oh, I got to get in touch with Dana. And they brought it to, it's only in a couple schools in Rochester, which is kind of sad. It needs to be in all, but they have STEM and SET. So that was the first thing I thought about. And I was going to ask you offline, but since we're on, I can make a warm introduction. So you may be able to talk with them more and figure out what you can do even with the students.
That is awesome. And I'm gonna, y'all are gonna hear me do this often as we continue these conversations. I want you to connect them with Trey Carlisle, our youth development director.
Yes, we'll do.
Yeah. So I'm learning how to delegate, and I'm gonna become a master delegator, right? So when y'all say, hey, I'm gonna connect you with somebody, I'm gonna bounce it off and send it to somebody else. Not that I don't care about that, but because there's only one of me and there's many of you, and my plate, I was gonna actually bring a plate up and show you a bunch of paperwork on my desk that I'm trying to get rid of, but I will be delegating a lot of things and getting a lot of other people involved. So yeah, let's get those connections on board. STEM and STEAM need to be a part of this movement, because I believe that students in STEM and STEAM programs can come up with solutions to the divide between police and other community members and other groups and many other groups. Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? There are apps that have been developed that are, you know, we've got an app, Love is the Answer app, but we want to make it more robust, right? Maybe some STEM students can help us, you know, figure out some really cool things to do with augmented reality and virtual reality and many, many other things that I don't even know about that they can bring to the table to help improve relationships using technology to do these things, right?
Mhm.
Who's next? Oh, Harvey, thank you. Would high schools be good community centers for murals? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if we talk to the principals or the superintendents or what, but let's see if we can make that happen. That'd be a beautiful thing. High schools, middle schools,
I would
elementary.
suggest if anyone's going to approach the schools, that they would find out who the community liaison is for the school district and reach out to that person.
Very good. Beautiful. Thank you, Lois. Any other questions? All right. So like I said, this is the first of many. I'm going to hold this kind of space probably every Friday leading up to it. Just got to take a quick look at the calendar, but probably every Friday leading up to it. I'll get invites back out to everyone, and you'll see them on our social media as well. So really kind of check in on social media at least every week to see what's going on. Closing thoughts. I promised I'd wrap it up at 11 my time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So closing thoughts, everyone.
At the
I have
risk,
one.
this is really,
Go.
and I think that it's something that is well, definitely needed. And for AJ already knows that I use Love is the Answer as my closing for all of my communications. I close out my council meetings with it. And just want to report, AJ, one of my council members made a comment, not a Tuesday night, but 2 weeks ago. Well, as the mayor says, love is the answer. So let's deal with this.
That
Yes,
is great.
on. Yes, yes. So just want to share that, but no, whatever I can do, and I will reach out and get with you offline about my contacts in Trinidad to begin
That
with.
is- all right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Mayor Lois, just real quick, and then Pat, I'm gonna come to you, and then Cliff. If we want to get proclamations from mayors in cities all over the world to make, you know, for Love is the Answer Day to be recognized officially, think about how we can do that. And
Oh, that's an easy thing. That's easy. We just
okay.
put their information, who they are, how to reach them, and a synopsis of what Love is the Answer is all about, include it, and ask for a proclamation.
All right, I'm gonna work with you offline on that. We'll craft that together.
Yes. Okay.
All right, and we'll bring that into that as well.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pat, hey.
Hi, I want to thank you for the invite. We just got the email late last night. So
Okay.
I was wondering, you mentioned that we may have meetings weekly. Can we get a notice so that we can get more of Intentional Talk radio staff involved with this great, you know, it's going to be a wonderful outcome. And then a comment I have is that I'm very happy. I'm always happy to see my little brothers and my little sisters in attendance wherever I go, because I am now what you call seasoned. And as the Bible says, the old is supposed to teach the young, and the young, they're teaching the old. So I'm learning a lot from our youth, and I want to encourage them to invite more of their friends to join this great this is going to be powerful. This is what we need.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I'm
Mhm.
so glad you use seasoned rather than old. We're not old.
Oh no, I'm not I am seasoned.
Seasoned with
July 23rd, I will be the great 69. Okay.
Oh, praise God.
And so, yes, praise God. And so,
you're a young
I'm hoping to get seasoned or whatever.
Seasoned.
But I've always enjoyed working with the youth. I was a former Girl Scout leader. So whatever I can do, let me know. I'm also a survivor of domestic violence. I was married 46 and a half years. So that is another passion that I have. I left my husband last year, and you know, it's spiritual, emotional manipulation, and I will be speaking out against that. And I do want that to go globally, because I have talked to people as far as London, and that's another. But Love is the Answer will bring all of these issues that we are, child abuse, elderly abuse, racial, you know, everything will be under that umbrella, because love is the answer. So I love that title. And we will need to get you back on the show, AJ. So I'm going to talk to Yolanda.
Only if Trey can come with me. He got to talk about the young people.
The more the merrier. I'll see what she books fast. So I'm going to tell her that we need to get AJ and Trey on. So
all right.
Just send that information to Yolanda so she can hook that up right away.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
In the chat, I have someone I would like to connect you with on the DV info stuff. So
Thank you.
Just put your contact in the chat and I'll copy.
Okay, I don't mind doing it publicly, because it is my intent to make this a worldwide challenge. So I'll put it in here.
Okay. We have a lot on in Washington County around domestic violence. So.
Oh, good. Because that is my plan I'm in the healing process. My son just brought me here from California. He brought me to Texas last year. And so I'm healing, but as I heal, I still want to be the voice of the seasoned women who try to do what the Bible said and stay in their marriage and honor their marriage, yet still that is abuse. When you put your love and your heart into a marriage and it was not appreciated, and he was constantly chasing women, and just even my children, after they got older, asked him to please stop, and he continued. So I am the voice, and there's no shame in my game.
Congratulations on getting being set free.
Yes.
Yes, I applaud you for that. Too many women stay there, and I'm going to put on my minister's hat now. God never intended for any of us to be abused.
No, exactly.
And he never intended for us to stay in an abusive relationship. So I applaud you for stepping out and keep on. Don't look back. Don't look back.
It's been a year. I left in February of 2020. And I left because he tried to poison me. He tried to give me some medicine. I was sick, and he was giving me medicine that kept me doped up. And finally I said, you know, I got to get up. This is not me. I got to get up. I got up and I started cooking, and he wasn't home, and he came home and found me, and he was like, what are you doing? And he was following me all over. Well, Saturday, he was gone, and I got out and I went with my friend, Yolanda. And when I came back, he came with 2 white pills, and he said, here, you ain't took your medicine. And I only take high blood pressure medicine in 2. And so I said, yes, I have. And he said, no, you haven't. And he followed me all over the house. to the point that I was fearful for my life. And the devil was getting in me, and I was in the kitchen, and I was like, boyfriend going to go, he's going to see his maker today. And I'm like, no, can't do that. So I grabbed my medicine. I ran to the room. By the time I got to the room, he was back there again. And that's when I just opened up the closet door and grabbed my biggest suitcase, and I started packing. And then my daughter came and she said, Mom, you're not taking your medicine? I said, keep your dad out of here because I'm leaving. So I left February 1st, 2020. And I end up in, because whatever he was giving me, I went to his brother's house, and he said, go sleep and go to bed. And my friend and my daughter was making plans to get my son to California. And I know this is not what we're going to, so that's another story. But anyway.
No, Pat, we're all about this. I want to share something with you personally as well. I'm going to share my screen just for a second, and I'm going to come back.
Okay.
Some of y'all know my mom, Shirley.
Oh, she's beautiful.
And that's a photo of her years ago, and then her, I think it was like last year, right? Or I don't know, a couple years ago. She's 90 years old now. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Wow.
I brought her up for a second to tell you that she too is a domestic violence survivor. And in fact, she took the brunt of it, but my father abused me, my little sister, my older sister, my brother. You know, my older brother, because he was older, he would get in fights with him.
Oh,
You know, my father tried to kill him. My father tried to kill my mother several times. One of the reasons why Hawaii and Hawaiian culture is so important to me, and Hawaii is my spiritual home, is because my mother worked for NSA. And after I joined the Air Force, my father threatened her life, and it was real. And so NSA, they moved her to Hawaii to get her as far away from him as they possibly could. And they protected her within the confines of Pearl Harbor. And, you know, they were on it, like, right? So she never told me this until like 2 or 3 years ago. She never told me while he was alive, because I probably would have killed him. And so I'm just sharing with you, I know what you're going through. I applaud you, just like Lois. In fact, anyone who can take their mute off and applaud, you know, let's do that right now for this woman.
It's more of us that's out there with a story, but it's an untold story. You know, it's out of embarrassment that you don't speak out. But I told him last year I was going to expose him, and I was going to let everybody know. And then when I found out in my healing process last year with the support group that the very tools that he used against me, because he was a probation officer, he was being trained on how to deal with his clients, but he used those same tactics on me, you know, and the preachers aren't talking about it. You know, they're like, it's taboo, but I'm going to shake up the world. And I need to be talking to you, Miss Lois. I'm going to rock this world with love. We're going to do this.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
I didn't stay there 43 years. But anyway, I will talk to you about the ministers. One of the things I found when I was a missionary in Trinidad and in other places, and it happens here also, ministers often don't talk about it because they're abusive. They might not be abusive, but many ministers are very emotional and abusive. Believe me, that's why.
And they don't talk about it because they'd be talking about themselves.
Right.
You know, and they have ministers who have women too on the side. You know, but I'm here. I'm telling it. I'm telling my story. Thank you so much.
We're here for all of that. And Pat, you're brave, and I see the joy that's coming from you. And I'm so glad that you're in a place now where you can start to heal, right? And so Love is the Answer is here for that too. We're not just police community relations. we're about everything that divides people, right? And domestic violence is one of those issues that we need to pay more attention to. And I hope, and you can maybe help us with this as well. I hope we can provide spaces like these love gardens and other spaces where people who are suffering from domestic violence can come and feel safe and be safe and be loved and nurtured and just, you know, arms wrapped around figuratively and literally to help you, you know, through, you know, what are some horrible times. But that joy that you have, you know, that's infectious. And by
Yes,
you being involved in this, not only will we be able to help you, but you're going to help us and a whole lot of other people as well.
Well, I have a plan because I do need to help my younger. I want to be known as Aunt Pat because some of my mentors are old enough to be my daughter, okay, like 47, 48. And they're calling me Miss Pat, but you know, I'm Aunt Pat. And I do have a sister that's older than me. She's 80, 84. So, you know, Aunt Pat is the best title for me, you
All
know.
right.
And I do want to help and I want to do this globally. Because it needs to start early in schools. It needs to be that before a marriage license is granted, that just like you get a blood test done or anything, you need to take a course and talk about marriage. And this is a man who supposed to be a Christian, but yet he, you know, now he sees his ways, but it's a little too late now. And there are things that I want to do out of life. As I said earlier, I'll be 69 July 23rd. And he was holding me back. And I'm not held back anymore. The stronghold is gone. So thank you, AJ,
Yeah, amen.
for
Yeah.
that. Okay.
All right. Well, consider yourself family now, Aunt Pat.
Well, you know your family. You're the Intentional Talk Radio Network family member. So thank you for this wonderful platform.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for sharing your story. That was very brave.
Amen.
And thank you. And we embrace you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel the love.
Can I say something real quick, Pat? Would you be able to
Sure.
give me a telephone call?
Sure. What's your name, sweetheart? I'll put it in the
It's Sheila.
Are you on the roster here?
Well, I got AJ's email, so I might be.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can either put it in the
I
chat.
can, you know
or
what?
direct
I know how to
message it.
block and delete. I'll put it out there. Oh, but this is
Okay.
being recorded. I'll be blocking and deleting all day. Email me or text me.
Just send her a direct message. You can send her a direct message. Pat.
Okay, but I didn't see her name in here.
Her name is under Enriquez, Maryland.
It's okay.
True that.
All the way at the
Let's
bottom.
Hey, so quick question. And I'm gonna
Enrique,
bring
that okay. Thank you, sweetheart.
does
Okay.
does this time generally work for people, or should we do it like on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, or what are your thoughts?
This time works for me. But
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
It works,
it works
for
for
me.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
Saturdays are good too, but it works for me.
All right, so we'll keep it on Fridays, but we'll continue to record them. So, because I know he's going to miss one. So, if you miss one, we'll have the recordings. We'll have the recordings.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much for the love I've just received.
You're quite welcome. You've blessed us, and we're here for you.
Thank you. Well, if you really are here for me, you'll help me help others get out of prison. Because I forgot to mention he was my high school sweetheart. So I took my vows very serious.
Yeah.
You know, the only man I ever known only dated I mean, he took the best of me. So,
Wow.
you know what?
Oh,
I'm on a
The best is
mission
yet to
now. I'm
come.
going to help others.
you,
Now,
The best is yet to come. The best
yeah,
is yet to come.
yeah.
you is
Okay.
didn't take the best, because the best was what encouraged you and enabled you to get out of the situation.
Yes, I did, you know.
Not the best left in you.
And I have two wonderful children. I have a son that's 39 and a daughter that's 35. And I stayed for them. And they saying now they're saying, Mom, you shouldn't have done that for her. I'm like, nope. I didn't want to take you out of your comfort zone. So, you know, I want to help other women. I really do. And I want to help these young girls who, before they get involved with these young men, well, some of them aren't men, they're males.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I'm calling it. A man don't do certain things. So, but I don't want these young girls getting involved with males and being abused, because it's been known that it's a cycle. It's a generational cycle. You know,
Yeah.
you
It
grow up
is.
in it, you see it, and you think this is the norm, and it's not the norm.
No,
You
nope.
know, and then what women don't realize, and men, is that once you've been hurt, you need to go get healed,
Yes.
not try to focus on finding the next.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
when God's in it, he'll bring you the next. And like I told the man that I married, well, the male that I married, that God will have to come off the throne and grab me by the hand and say, you're supposed to be with him. And I said, and I know he's not going to do that.
Amen.
So I'm praying. I said, well, you pray, but it's too late, because I'm done.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna do a bit of
Sure.
housekeeping. Hold on one
Okay.
second. So everyone who's watching this, the recording version of it, we're gonna continue to have these meetings and planning. Harvey, I like your 2 o'clock Eastern. Is that Eastern, Harvey? Okay, so we'll look at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern.
Okay,
For
2
these.
doesn't work for me. I have a standing 2 o'clock every Friday.
Do you? Okay, maybe we'll alternate. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Okay.
out.
Leave it
And
at what?
I'm in
Lois is
Central. I'm in Central. So when you put the time, if you could just do one thing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
If
But
you can do just one thing, when you put the time, put Pacific. That way, those are in the mountains,
Yeah.
Central and Eastern. We can adjust our time, because I was talking to Yolanda and I had it down for 12, which was right. It was 10 o'clock Pacific. So,
Okay.
you know.
So normally I will put Pacific and Eastern. That's what I
Okay.
normally do.
Okay.
So bit of housekeeping. Bye, y'all. Don't go anywhere, y'all who are on here now. Bye, everybody else. We'll see you next time. I'm going to stop the recording portion.